Hey, are you looking to invest in stocks? In this video, I'm going to be revealing the top 3 stocks of 2020, what they are, and why they are the top. Hey, so like I was mentioning, I'm going to be showing you guys the top 3 stocks of 2020, what they are, and I'm going to be also talking about why they're the top 3 in 2020. So let's look at the first one. I've opened it up on my screen, and I'm just going to show it to you guys now. All right, so here's the first one, Apple. All right, so if we look at this, actually I'm just going to leave this here. Okay, so if you look at this, if you look in within 1 year, so this is 1 day. So let's make it into 1 year. Okay, so currently right now it's at 117 US dollars. Okay, and if you had invested in last October 2019, this stock was only worth $60. So if you multiply how much of a growth that is from $60 to 117, let's say it's 120, so it doubled. So if it was $60 last year, now it's $120. That's 2 times the value of it. So if you had invested, for example, $5,000 in October 2019 and you waited 1 year, it would be worth $10,000, right? Because $5,000, times 2, that's $10,000. So that's the profit you would have had if you had invested a year ago in Apple. So let's look at the profit Apple has made since the beginning of the year. So if you look at since January the 2nd, 2020, it was $75, right? And now it's $117. So like you can see, from $70 to, let's say, so it's about $50 of profit. So if you had invested at the beginning of January or just close to January, you would have had a really good significance in terms of profit. I want to just show you also from December, so or March actually. Like you can see, it's really low, right? It's almost like $60. So it just goes to show you, right? Investing, you need to invest long term. I mean, if you were just like trading every single day, it's a lot of work, and plus, it just, you're purchasing at a price, you're selling at a price. You're always on the computer. The way I prefer purchasing stocks is like I like to buy and I like to hold. And I'm going to explain to you my strategy of how I'm able to not do a lot of work and still be able to get like profit like this. So before starting, I didn't really have any background in investing or finance or anything, but I started off with $0 and I made over a really good income out of this. So I want to explain to you some of the tips, what I learned along the way. So going back to explaining why Apple is doing so well. So let's talk about it. So Apple, right? What does it do? It makes iPhones and it makes laptops. Basically, it makes products that are very unique. They have a really big audience. They're always innovating. I'm just reading some of the points that I wrote. They stand behind their products. So, for example, Apple is a really strong supporter of their clients. So they got into media recently saying that an incident happened a while back, and Apple said that we're not revealing our password to the government because that password, it's our clients, it's private, right? It's privacy. So they stuck behind their client, and even though the government was pushing them, hey, like we need that password, for this, for that, they're like, sorry, that's personal, that's our client's information, we can't really give you that. So they stand really behind their customers. Customers realize that, and that's why so many people are buying iPhones. Not only that, but also because the product is really good. It has really good features, and they're always innovating. They're always coming up with new features and benefits to make the user always get the next one. So and the iPhones are very easy to use. So they're very simple, they're very easy, very convenient. They have good batteries. So I just wanted to explain, like, the product is good, right? Like when you make a great product, and you have a great audience, well, it's just going to help you, it's going to help the company grow, expand, and do better. So every year, they're producing new technology, new iPhones, and basically, like, they're able to grow. So they know their audience really well, right? They're not only in the United States; they're everywhere in the world, and they're, even though people in different parts of the world have different needs, and maybe the way they think might be different, but they understand the audience. They understand how people think, what their interests are, what their needs are, what their desires are, and they're able to put a product in front of them, and they're able to take that, absorb that product, and really enjoy it. So they're always innovating. So this company is really good at making a product, having great service, and serving their audience really well. So as you can see, right, from last year up until this year, they doubled their stock price. So this is currently one of the top performing stocks of 2020. Like we mentioned, it started off about $74, and it's to $117. So that's the first one. Okay, now I want to reveal to you the second stock, and this is has a bigger growth than Apple, and I'm gonna explain to you why it's done so well, and also, yeah, if you guys want to get more of these tips, just keep watching. All right, so the second stock is Tesla, and I love Tesla. So let's look at the yearly growth. So if you started from January, the stock value of this was $86.05. Okay, and then it grew up to $427. Okay, huge growth from 2020 January to now, huge growth. Okay, let's look 1 year ago. So if you had invested in Tesla, you bought a stock for $50 in October 2019, and you waited up until October 2020, it would be $427. So $50 and then $427. So it grew 8 times more. So let me just explain to you what that means. So if you had invested about $100, right now it would be $800, right? Like, it's 8 times the growth. So maybe it doesn't seem like a lot of money because you're only putting in $100, but imagine if you had put in $1,000. That would be $8,000. Imagine if you had put in $10,000. That would be $80,000. What could you do with $80,000, right? That could be enough revenue for you to, like, live off, like, for maybe the next 3 years, maybe the next 2 years, right? Imagine if you had $100,000. That would be $800,000 US. How incredible is that, right? I mean, that's almost $1 million, and you just put in $100,000, and you almost got $1 million out of it, right? And, like, it's very passive. You put in the money and you let the company grow, right? It's not like you're working for it, right? It's very passive. And so I want to talk about why this company is so good and why they did well. Once again, they have a really good product, right? They're able to make electric cars. Basically, you're not spending money on gas anymore. The convenience of having a car, being at home and charging, so you're not making commutes to the gas station and waiting in line there, right? So there's such a huge convenience. On top of that, you're helping the environment. You're not burning gas, so it's very healthy to get an electric car. And people are loving it. People are loving the product. People are loving the service. People are loving the idea of saving the planet. So that's why they're able to create an audience and get so much support. People believe in this company because they have similar beliefs. So also by having a Tesla, you decrease your cost. Like I said, you're not paying for maintenance. So basically, you're not having to go to the garage to get oil changes. You're not paying for gas. You're not paying for all these broken parts that you have in a regular car. You're able to maintain the car. On top of that, you don't even have to make commutes to the garage. You're able to get the service of Tesla come to your house and repair your car. So how convenient is that, right? Some of the other things. So one of the other reasons Tesla is doing really well is not only are they within North America, they now just moved to China. So what does that mean? That means they got more audience. They got a bigger audience. Now their products are accessible to more people now, and more people are loving their products. So it's helping the company grow. Not only that, because they're in China now, the cost of the production has decreased, right? Because in China, obviously, it costs less for them to produce these cars. So they're not having to ship cars from North America to China. They're able to grow a plant in China, produce cars, and sell to the people there. So now they have a bigger audience. So that's where they're expanding so well. And they're able to get more of the products into more of the hands of their audience. So yeah, so I mentioned some of the things they did really well: service, convenience, and great products. And they're able to tap into a bigger audience. So incredible, right? Like if you had invested, now let's look at if you had invested in the beginning of January. So if you had invested in January, it was $86, and it went up to $426. So still, it's a really big growth. Yeah, so it would have grown about 5 times. So if you had put in $100,000, that would be $500,000. If you had put in $10,000, that would be $50,000. And I mean, $10,000, right? Like obviously it's a lot of money, and for you to be able to do that, you really need to believe in the company. It's not easy for you to take $10,000 and put in something, right? You need to have real good conviction. And later in the video, I'm going to be explaining to you how to get that conviction and how I do it. So the next stock I want to talk about is called Shopify. So the first 2 stocks you guys have probably known. You probably have an iPhone and you've probably heard Tesla online. And in the news, they're very popular, right? So it's not like we're talking about companies that no one has heard of. These companies, they're everyday products. Maybe you haven't bought them, but you've definitely heard of them, right? You're using them. Maybe one of your friends is using them, but they're there. So for you to find these companies, it's not difficult. Okay, investing in stock is not difficult. It's actually very simple, and it just means that you need to make it simple for yourself as well. And I'm going to be explaining that. So now I want to talk about this other stock that did really well in 2020. It's called Shopify. So if you look at the performance, if you look in January 2020, it's $530, and now it's $1,300.57. So it's $1,357, right? So it's almost 3 times its value. So if you had invested, if you had invested $1,000, it would be worth 3 times more, which is $3,000, right? So the goal of investing is to just make more than what you have, right? Whatever you have, you want it to grow. You don't want it to go below. That's the goal of investing, right? And like I said, so some of you that maybe are not aware of Shopify, Shopify is just a platform that people who want to sell products online, they're able to open up a store and like a website, and they're able to sell through that website and earn income. So because of COVID-19, not a lot of people are actually commuting as much, and not a lot of people are actually going to the store. So what people are now doing is like they're going online and they're purchasing products. So as this trend of online shopping was increasing, more and more people were buying and making websites online so that they can give their audience a better service by not having to leave their house, by not having to go to the store and drive and be in traffic or whatever weather was outside. They didn't have to be in that environment. They can just do it from the convenience of their home. So as more and more people start doing online shopping, realize that Shopify was doing well because they're able to actually help their audience make all these websites and get an income and at the time that it was becoming popular. So if you look at the growth of it from 1 year, right? So if you look at 2019 of October, it was about $418, and now it's $1,357, right? So like $1,000 more, like it grew $1,000 more. And so it just goes to show you, like, these three things, that these three top stocks, they're not unknown. Everyone knows about them, but you need to ask yourself why you haven't invested in these companies, right? And I'm not saying that you need to invest in these companies, but I'm just saying that these companies are growing. There's a reason they're growing, right? And it's understanding your audience, or just the population, what's happening to it. Like, we are all aware, because of COVID-19, more people are at home, right? Less people are traveling, right? So how are these three companies being able to facilitate that, right? iPhones, right? You're able to get iPhones conveniently, right? You can order them online. Tesla, you can even order online. Shopify, people are buying things online. So a lot of people, their eyeballs are online. So all these three companies are being able to service that. And the reason they're growing is because they have a great product. They're able to provide a great service. So when you make an investment, there's a couple of questions I ask myself before I am convinced that I want to put my money into these companies. When you make an investment into these companies, realize that you are becoming an owner. So what does that mean? That means you're taking money and you're actually purchasing a part of the company. So for example, Apple, let's say Apple has operations, like let's say it has delivery, it has manufacturing, it has all these components, right? You're purchasing that. All the people that are taking the product from one facility to the other part of the facility, the equipment they're using, the machines, the structure, the delivery, all of that, you're actually buying into that. So when you purchase a stock, you need to ask yourself, here are the questions that I ask myself: is it a great product? Okay, so if it's a great product, right, is the audience having a great experience with the product? Number two, number two is the service. Is it providing a great service? Is that company providing a great service to their audience? You can have a great product, but if if your customers are not having a good experience, well, it won't be as good of an experience. So you need to have a great product. You need to have a great service. I need to be convinced that those two are good. It's a great product and a great service. Right? One way of doing that is you can just go online and you can just get that feedback, or you can buy the product and experience it for yourself. If you have a problem, you can try to call customer support, and you can see it with the feedback you get, how long it takes. That's one way of doing it if you really want to make sure that you are convinced about this company. Then you need to ask, is the company growing? Is it innovating? Are they able to every year? Are they able to make products that are satisfying? Are they able to make products that makes the customers happy? And you also need to make sure the company is growing financially. They're getting a bigger audience. They're able to make more products, more revenue. So you need to look at that. One way is just simply going on Google, putting in the name of the company, looking at the growth, like we've been doing together. The stocks, the growth, looking at that. And so another very important question that I ask myself is this company going to be here in the next 10 years, right? And because I don't want to invest in companies, and specifically I don't invest in companies that are for short term. I don't invest in companies that are that I just buy for a week, and then after a week I just sell it. I don't I just feel like that's too much work, it's too much headache, and it's very stressful. I want to invest in a way that it's very easy to put money in and not think about it, and after a couple of months or a year or 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, it's just grown, and I didn't really have to do a lot of work. So I need to ask myself, is the company going to be here in the next 10 years? Are they going to withstand some of the troubles that come day to day? Market is changing. For example, now, instead of people going to work, they're working from home. Instead of people shopping outside, they have to stay at home. So is the company able to adapt? Have they adapted in the past? So that's another thing that I ask myself. And yeah, are they expanding? Are they growing? Are they getting a bigger audience, right? What are they doing to get a bigger audience? So these are some of the things that I ask myself before I make an investment. That way I am convinced that if I take, the money that I've been saving, and it's to save money, it's not easy, right? You can use it on yourself, but you're actually putting it on the side to make it grow. And it's hard, right? You work for that money, so you work for this money, so it's very hard for you to just give it away so easily or put it into another company and take the chance of it losing, right? So I don't want to take that chance. I want to make sure that if I put the money in the company is going to grow. Is it going to be there in the next 10 years? Is it expanding? Does it have great product? Is it a great service? If all those things are good, if all those things are green and I'm happy about the company, I'm willing to take that risk, because everything is a risk, okay? But if I'm very convinced about these couple of things that I asked, then I'm willing to also test it, right? So you can start off by testing maybe a smaller amount if you're a beginner, but if you are really convinced, right, you looked at the numbers, you looked at the company, and you feel really good about it after asking yourself these questions, try to make it not emotional. You don't want to make an investment based on emotions. You want to make it based on logic. Some of the things that I asked, right, these weren't emotional things. These were very logical things. Like if you have a great product, you have a great service. It's very logical. And so, yeah, once you're convinced, you take that money, you put it into the company, and then you let it grow, for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. And that's the way to, really be safe and convinced about the company, because you're not just putting your money and just taking it out. You're going to be like very stressed out because you don't really believe in the company. So when you put in your money into something, you're really showing that you believe in the company. And you're letting the company grow. Obviously, it takes some years. It requires some different strategies, and you're letting that company grow. And it's going to take time, so be patient. And like I said, some of the stocks that I showed you, these are everyday stocks. So I hope you guys found this video very helpful. Let me know what is it about this video that you really liked. Let me know in the comments below, actually, if you would like me to create more videos on stocks, investments, how to buy stocks. If you want me to, talk about other companies in 2020 or other stocks, I would love to do that for you guys. Also, to be able to invest, you need to have money. So if you're maybe struggling right now because of COVID-19, and I completely understand, so if you don't have a job, what I suggest you to do is I actually created a very short PDF, okay? It's a get started guide. Basically, if you just follow this, you can earn anywhere between $3,000 to about $8,000 per month. And it's a very simple PDF that I created, and it's very easy to use. Once you apply, you'll be able to have access to the info and use it to pay your expenses. You can use it for investments if you want. I highly suggest that you obviously pay for your expenses, but you need to have money for investments. You can't do this if you don't have any money. So that's why I created this PDF. It's a get started guide. If you do have a job but just looking to get more money, it's also for you. You can apply the rules in that get started guide and just earn more money. When you have more money, you'll be able to invest, and you can follow the strategies in this video to be able to be convinced about your investments. So also, yeah, if you guys think that any of your friends or family members could benefit from videos like this and talking about investments and stocks, you can share it with them. I hope that you really like the video, so you can give me a like. And yeah, if you have any more requests that you have for me in terms of the type of videos you'd like me to create, please let me know on the bottom in the comments. I would love to create the type of videos that you guys actually need, and I'll be just reading them. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you, and talk to you guys on the next one.